Hi, everyone. Back again with the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. My name is David Fresquez. I'm the executive director of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce here in Santa Fe. And we've got Marcos today talking about our 40 Under 40 Business Leaders Awards. So, Marcos, thank you so much for jumping on.
David, as always, my friend, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure for me to be able to talk today about 40 Under 40 and the big event actually coming up in September.
Yeah, exactly. So, Marcos, you're going to have to cover my tracks on this. We've got nominations
Yep,
right now. They go until July 5th at 5 o'clock. That's when we'll stop the nominations.
right.
The award recipients, we will announce the names July 15th. We'll probably do that over social media like we typically have. We'll present the 40. And then on September 14th, that's on a Saturday, we will have our 40 Under 40 Business Leaders Awards dinner and presentation. Does that all sound correct?
The timeline adds up to me 100% correct. Well done.
Perfect. So right now we're in the nomination stage of this. So be sure to visit our website, look at our Facebook, Instagram accounts on how to nominate an individual. We are looking for people who are under the age of 40, so young business leaders. They do not have to be Hispanic. And we are looking for people in Santa Fe and northern New Mexico, Espanola, Los Alamos, etc. And the criteria is essentially, again, obviously the age, but it's the movers and shakers, people who are doing great things in business. And that doesn't necessarily mean entrepreneurship and owning a business, but that's being involved in your community, being executive director at a bank or what have you. Those things are always, or those individuals will be considered for this award or awards. Marcos, what have I missed?
Well, actually, I'm glad that you brought up that you do not need to just be a business entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I am the perfect example of exactly what you're talking about. So I was lucky enough and I had the honor of being able to say that I was one of the inaugural 40 under 40 way back in 2022. And I am not a business owner. I am not what you would call an entrepreneur. I am not even an executive director of a bank or an insurance company. But what I am is I am somebody who works in higher education. My day job is I work at Santa Fe Community College, where I serve as a director of recruitment, dual credit, and student engagement. Now, when I was nominated for 40 Under 40, I was excited because it felt really good to me, David, that people thought enough of me to at least think that I could qualify as one of Santa Fe's top 40 under 40 young leaders. Never in a million years thinking that I would ever be selected, especially because, like many others probably think, I wasn't a business owner. I wasn't like I say, like I just mentioned, I was in education. So when I actually was selected, number one, I was absolutely shocked, and then number two, after the shock wore off, I was just tremendously happy and thrilled. To this day, it's still one of the biggest honors of my entire professional life. And like I said, you do not have to be a business owner. You do not have to be that entrepreneur. Like David was saying, even if you are a community organizer, activist, somebody that's just making some type of difference in your community, you are going to be a very attractive candidate when it comes time to selecting the top 40 under 40 for the year. And I'll say this, David, regarding 40 under 40. So when I was selected, that was, well, let me just back up really quickly. If I wouldn't have been selected as 40 under 40, I don't think I would have ever been involved with the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. 40 under 40 is what got me to being involved with the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And to me, most importantly, being involved on the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. But I got to see you all in action as I was selected as a 40 under 40. And I got to hear what you all were about because there was a time when I may have heard the name Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but before 40 under 40, my 40 under 40, I really didn't know what that entailed. So when I really got to see what you all were about, how diverse the membership was, the group was, how dynamic they were, it was a no-brainer. When you all asked me if I was interested after the 40 under 40 to be involved in the chamber, that was one of the easiest yeses I have ever given. And I've been now a member, I can say a part of the board for God, going on a year and a half now. And time is flying, but we're getting a lot of good stuff done. And just in that small amount of time that I can say that I've been a board member, God, we have already grown leaps and bounds in just that small period of time. And we're just getting started. Now, 40 under 40, that is quickly becoming our marquee event for the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. It's our Super Bowl. And yes, we are planning on having some other incredible events down the road in the near future. But it took a 40 under 40 to really get our name out there, not only in Santa Fe, New Mexico, but also northern New Mexico. And I think, like myself, many other people, whether it's young business leaders, young people under the age of 40, or even family members and other folks in the community of influence, they all really got a taste of who we were, because a lot of them because of the 40 under 40s. So it's just absolutely incredible to just see where the chamber has been and where it has already grown in just a short period of time.
Yeah, exactly. So I know we attracted Janelle as well. You know, she does our business development. She walked into that first 40 and 40. She brought some, I think, some of her clients or colleagues, and she was like, "Holy cow, this is awesome!" You know, and then she reached out to us, and we're just connecting those dots and those bridges, because at the end of the day, we do need our young business leaders to get Santa Fe and the economic development to another level.
Oh,
So
most definitely. And what I'll also say too, David, just regarding the 40 under 40 event, for anybody that's watching this and thinking about, well, should I actually take the time to nominate somebody? Yes,
yeah,
absolutely, positively, 100% yes. Nominate people who you feel would be a great representative of our 2023 class of 40 under 40. I say that for this reason, just sharing a personal experience. So when I was selected as 40 under 40 in 2022, the whole buildup was just incredible. Like, the chamber really just did it up in a way that made every single one of those 40 under 40 so award winners, it really made you feel special. Like, it already made the moment feel big. Like, we were highlighted in the Santa Fe New Mexican. We were highlighted on social media. Like, it was this great buildup from July to September, where every single week it felt like we were getting highlighted and we were getting acknowledged by folks in our community, thanks to the chamber. So I thought that was already amazing. And I was already looking forward to the big event, although I didn't understand how big it was going to be. I knew it was going to be at the Santa Fe Convention Center. So I knew that, I mean, because of the location, it was going to be in a bigger space. Totally got that. But it wasn't until I walked in there for that first 40 under 40 and I saw how it was decorated. I saw the setup. I saw every single 40 under 40 award recipient's name and face up on the giant screen. And you had this beautiful stage. You had dignitaries. You had folks from all walks of life that were there at that 40 under 40. It was catered beautifully. There was music. Everybody was dressed to the nines. It really just, you almost get overwhelmed when you're there. And once you hear your name called and you see the people that are with you, whether that's family, whether that's friends, whether that's colleagues, and they're seeing this, it's a really big deal, not only for you as that award recipient, but for somebody like me that was born and raised in Santa Fe, New Mexico, that is from this community, to be able to see my mother and father uh, there sharing this moment with me. That is something that, I mean, I will never forget as long as I live. And that's going to be one of the most precious memories that I will ever carry with me. And that's not just me. You see that with other 40 under 40 award recipients. You see them sharing that and basking in the moments with their family, basking in that glory of being one of the top 40 for that year. And just the pride and the love in that room, it's nothing but positivity. It's nothing but good vibes. So if you want to nominate somebody, I would strongly recommend it, because if they're selected, it's going to be one of the best 3 months of their entire life.
Yeah, no, well said. Uh, I mean, like my reflection is very similar. Like obviously as board members and as committee members to the 40 under 40, we see it from essentially like now the buildup, but then that night you see it come into place, and you're like, wow, like this is really really special. And I think it's gone too far that we don't recognize our young leaders in the community as
Yeah.
well. So I think that's why our chamber is so hungry and so eager to give a shout out and a highlight to the top 40, because I think it's just so long overdue.
I
You know,
absolutely agree, David. And I mean, in just a short amount of time, right? We started this in 2022. Now we're going to be getting ready to celebrate our third 40 under 40. But I mean, not only is the 40 under 40 not only the signature event for the Santa Fe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but I would argue to say that it has already become one of the signature events in all of Santa Fe or northern New Mexico for that matter. And something that I thought was really cool, David. So being on the other end, being part of the chamber last year when we were gearing up for the 2023 40 under 40, and I had the opportunity to meet some of the incredible award recipients. What I loved about that was, like you said, not every single one of them was from Santa Fe. It was a great mix of people that were from Santa Fe and northern New Mexico. And we're talking some small communities. Something I thought that was really cool was there was a couple of folks that I got to meet that they actually both graduated from the same small town, and they graduated from the same small high school that my dad went to many, many years ago in Cebolla, New Mexico, which is like the population of like 20 people. Like you
yeah,
blink and you miss it.
yeah,
And the fact that there were two people from that community that were now succeeding, doing great in life, and we're now those 40 under 40. Again, it's mind blowing to just see that acknowledgement being put forth by the chamber. And David, to me, what the chamber also does by implementing 40 under 40 is not only does it acknowledge these young leaders, but it really does create a true sense of belonging
yeah.
to this community.
Mhm.
And that's something that I think is kind of lacking right now in Santa Fe is like you said, it's one thing to acknowledge our young people, but also to really make them feel like they belong in their communities. And you really aren't seeing that, right? Like overwhelmingly, you're seeing that we're kind of a sleepy little town. We're not really a place that's very friendly for young people. So there's not a lot of, at least from my point of view, there's not a lot of incentives that if you're young and you're talented, why would you want to live here? Like the town shuts down at 9 o'clock. Like, what is there for me to do? So the fact that there's the 40 under 40, the fact that the chamber acknowledges how important these young people are, creates that sense of community, creates that sense of belonging. Because, like you said, because of the 40 under 40, I've had the opportunity to meet and work with Janelle and work with other folks who are award recipients or folks that were just there. And like I say, I feel more connected to my community today, right now in June of 2024, than I most certainly did even just 2 years ago. And so much of that has to do with the community that the 40 under 40 brought, thanks to the chamber.
Yeah, I think it's a good networking tool too, right? I know it's in August. We'll do like a special after hours event recognizing the 40 and 40, and they get to network, and that's a powerful room right there of the movers and shakers. And then we invite the past 80, right? So we'll have potentially we can have a total of 120 40 under 40s in one venue space networking. So now we're not going to be the sleepy little town. Now we're going to start generating those ideas for more nighttime economy, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So those are the places that you want to be. And in order to do that, make sure you nominate friends, family, coworkers, so we can make this event even bigger this year. Because our goal is to sell it out, and most likely it will. Last year it sold out. So, Marcos, I think you hit everything on the head.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. And again, I mean, being able to be introduced to the chamber as a 40 under 40 recipient, I had the pleasure of working with you and
Yep.
the president of the board right now, Randy Lucero, and just so many countless others that, again, I wouldn't trade that for anything. So, again, I just would tell people nominate. Or if you're somebody that is watching this right now and you're under 40 and you're like, I'd be perfect for this, reach out to somebody and don't be
Mhm.
afraid to ask them. Don't be proud to ask them to nominate you. If you really feel like you belong here, advocate for yourself. It's
Yeah.
not that difficult of a process for someone to nominate somebody to become a recipient. Now, of course, nothing's guaranteed. That could be really competitive. We could have 100 incredible nominees, and
Like it was
that's
last
when life becomes really difficult for our selection committee. And I certainly do not envy you all, but I mean, it's still worth just being part of that group, just
year.
being acknowledged as one of those nominees,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah. Exactly. September 14th, that's the award ceremony. Deadline for nominations is July 5th. And then we will announce via social media, Instagram and Facebook, most likely July 15th, of the top 40 under 40 for the class of 2024. Perfect.
That's perfect, David. Thank you, my friend.
Marcos, thank you so much. We'll probably have you back on. We'll probably do another show as it gets closer with like Janelle, Randy. So we'll just have you back on. And thank you so much. And thank you to Santa Fe Community College. As always, you guys are warriors and beasts in our community. You know, grooming those young kiddos, getting them from recruiting them from high school, and then letting them go off to bigger universities. But make sure you get them back.
That's right.
Get 'em
Absolutely.
back. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Bye.